There is a common problem in programming. When user enters an input and maybe you need a number, so you could do some math with that number or do something else with that number, and you expect user to enter, let's say, number from 0 to 9, and as you remember, function input always returns a string. So here in this example, I want to convert it to an integer, and we expect user to enter a number, and then a user just enters something like 1, and then your code gives an error. So to solve this problem, we need to validate this code. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you could actually validate user's input with string methods isAlpha or isdigit. Hi, this is Art, and today we're doing practice Python problems and efficient solutions here at RoboticView. Alright, so let's take a look at string methods isAlpha and isdigit and how we could actually use them. So first of all, what is the isAlpha? So that's a Python method that's actually built into a string, and all it does, it checks if a string is the alphabetical character. And by the way, if you don't know that, let me show you how you can find a solution for that. So first of all, how do you find all the methods? So for starters, you could run dir function on str, and that will get you all built-in methods, right? So you see here we got capitalize, count, and a bunch of other things, and here we got isAlpha, and here we got also isdigit. Or if you're using Jupyter, pretty much what I'm doing here, you could actually use Jupyter perks. You could place period here, press tab, and then you see the same list of methods, and they're all here, right? So if you don't remember what isAlpha does, or if you don't remember what isdigit does, what you could do, you could use help, and here we got pretty much the same explanation as I got here in my file. So isAlpha returns Boolean true or false, and it returns Boolean true if string is alphabetical character from A to Z, right? And opposite of that, there is digit. There is digit. And isdigit pretty much will check if string is a numerical string from 0 to 9, right? So then it will return true. So let me show you how to use them. Now suppose here I have string A, and I could do isAlpha, and you see we get true, right? And opposite of that, if I do let's say 7 is digit, so then it will return true. All right, so let me show you how to use them so you could write efficient code and you can find efficient solutions for your code. Now suppose we have a problem and we want to check if number is even or odd, and I hope you remember how to use that modular, right? So how would you check if number is even or odd? So for example, if you take 6, use modular divided by 2, remainder will be 0, right? So what we could do, we could use double equal sign, and double equal sign, I hope you remember, it's a comparison operator. So pretty much you could check if result of this operation of this expression will be 0, so then it will return true. Opposite of this would be odd numbers. Suppose I take 5 divided by 2 and it returns false. Why? Because result of this operation will be a remainder, which is 1. So that's a simple exercise, but I want to show you how to write this efficient code so you could actually ask user for input for a number, and then you could check whether or not number is even or not. All right, so how we're going to do it? So first thing first, let's create a variable named number, and then we're going to ask input from a user input, and I'm going to write something simple like give me a number. So I expect a number here. Now I hope you remember, I'm not sure if it's here, but string always returns, input always returns a string. So function input always returns a string. Yeah. And that's a problem because although user might give you a number from 0 to 9 or any other number, so you would need to convert it to numeric data type such as integer or a float. So integer would be more appropriate. But again, the problem might be like this. So if we take a number and if we use function int to convert this number into numeric data type, let me show you what's going to happen. Let's say 6. And now you see, so it actually converts it to numeric data type. However, if somebody actually literally type 6, so then we're going to get into a problem because you see, obviously 6 as a word 6 cannot be converted to numeric data type. And whom they're going to blame? They're going to blame a coder who actually wrote the code. So before you go to this operation, you need to actually validate this data. So how are you going to validate this data? You would need to use if and else, all right, or if and elif. So let's take a look what we could do here. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to say if number, and I'm going to use isdigit, and you see here there is no need to say equal true. Why? Because you remember that isdigit by default returns boolean, so that would be overkill. You don't need to do it. So here I'm just going to do colon, and then if that's true, I'm going to convert that number to numeric data type. And then else I will print statement, or if we create a function later, I will return the statement, something not a valid input. All right, so let's take a look. All right, so if user enters, let's say 5, everything is fine, right? However, if user enters 5, so then we get not a valid input, and here you could actually say like we expect a number from 0 to 9, kind of help a user, maybe even wrap this in the while loop and kind of prompt a user to enter, to give user another chance to enter a number, right? All right, so let's finish that exercise, and then here we'll do another if statement, because again our goal here to check if number even or odd. So here I'm going to do if number is divisible by 2 with no remainder, right? So then I'm going to print, and I'm going to use format here, number is even number, right? Something like this. And by the way, this F stands for format. That's another method of a string that's actually built into a string. So that's format and these curly braces. So here they act as a placeholder. So we'll take this number and actually like insert it right here into a string. And then here I'm going to do else, because there are just two options. Number is even, is either even or odd. So, and then I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to say, all right, number is odd number. Let's give it a try. Suppose 6, and now 6 is even number. 5 is odd number. All right, so you see, that's what's going on. So this is how you could actually validate data, but if somebody enters, let's say 2, and then we're gonna move right here to else statement, not a valid input. So here we're using two layers of logic. So first, if and else if and else statements that will actually validate that data, and they would actually act as a decision tree. If you give me valid input, then my code will run here. You see, then we're going to go to this line number, integer number, if number is divisible by 2, and so on. Otherwise, if you give me something that I cannot work with, then we'll jump right here to else. You see? So that's how you could validate that input. Another option, another good exercise that you could practice is here you could create a word, and suppose word is apple and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And suppose our goal here would be to count how many letters you have here and how many numbers you have here, right? So if you take word and apply isAlpha right to that word, it will return false. Maybe if we do word isdigit, maybe then it will return true. Nuh-uh. Why? Because here we got a mixture. So the point is we need to apply isAlpha and isdigit to each character. And I want to use this word character because string is a sequence of characters, because there might be some other characters like special signs, I don't know, like something else. So then how are we going to do it? Pretty easy. So first thing first, we need to create a couple of counters. Let me call it counter letter. And by the way, that's not a magic word. Here you could use anything like banana or apple or whatever. And first counter letter would be 0 because we haven't seen any letters yet. And then here I'm going to do counter number. And it's also going to be 0, right? So then, since we would need to apply isAlpha and isdigit to all characters in the string, we would need to use a for loop. So how we're going to do it? Pretty simple. For, I'm going to use this car, again, could be anything, in a word. And then here, I want to use if and elif. You might ask me, why don't you want to use else? Because, I mean, you count in letters and numbers, but guess what? Later, there might be some special characters, such as a $sign, or there might be like @ or some other like a character, or maybe empty spaces. So then here I'm going to do if character, and character is pretty much every character in the string, is alpha, all right? So then what I want to do, I want to take this, if it returns true, then I want to increase it by 1. So there are two options how you could do it. You could use this syntax, count a letter, because what you're doing here, you're increasing this counter every time this returns true, right? You could use this syntax, or there is a shorthand, you could do plus equal 1. So it will update this number and we'll save it. And elif will be what? Will be character isdigit, all right? And then we will take this counter number and we'll increase it also by 1. So at the end of the day, we could print and we could say something like that. There are, and here we're going to insert counter letter because that will make our syntax better. And let's say letters and numbers. And again, I'm using these curly braces as a placeholder for these values, I need to place this little F for format here. So let's run this, and you see it actually counts all letters, and apparently there are 5 letters and 5 numbers. If you're not sure what's going on here, my advice to you would be print everything. So here you could print character first of all, and you see when you're printing a character, you get every character here. So that would be one option, just to make sure that you fully understand what's going on here. And then here you could print, I don't know, yes for letter, and then you could print no for number, something like that. Just you could print anything silly, but that will help you to see what's going on here. And you see we get yes, 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 and that kind of makes sense because we got apple first, and then no, 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 no. All right. So then you see where this if and elif, statements being triggered. All right. So this is how you could actually use isAlpha, isdigit, to validate your code. And again, so if we have just apple, then isAlpha will return true. And if we have a sequence of numbers, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then isdigit will return true.